Buenas. Morning, hi. From a foggy again and colder than it has been in the morning for a long time. Uh, Andalusia, Granada, cold mountain. Okay. Morning, everyone. Time for another video because I did promise a proper book review in after my weight and fitness update of a couple of days ago. Okay. So this morning I want to talk about my war book. They Will Have to Die Now: Mosul and the Fall of the Caliphate. And as like I said, this was a book that I picked up in the Great Judd Books between Russell Square and Euston Station, which is a fabulous kind of second-hand fiction and non-fiction place. And my eye happened to kind of look on this while I was buying a Christmas present. And I thought, yes, I'd be interested in that. So I did break my kind of rule and I got it at a massive discount, I'm delighted to say. So the reason that I'm interested in this kind of thing, I suppose, I'm interested, I suppose it all comes back to ultimately Michael Herr's Dispatches, which I read, I guess, when I was either a teenager or a very young man, and was just completely blown away by the reporting, but also the kind of that new journalism, the immersive being part of the story aspect of it, which I thought was really, really interesting as a journalist and as someone interested in writing and as a writer of very modest ambitions, I guess. And I thought it was also complete that whole kind of apocalypse now, psychedelic, insane, modern American war, modern war experience. I just thought was really, really compelling. Now, the other thing that I have kind of going on in me is I do have an interest, a fascination. Previous partners described it as morbid, but that's fine. I don't think it is. I'm interested in the Holocaust. I'm interested in democratic Kampuchea. Um, and I suppose over the kind of, I can't tell you the exact. I mean, I could look it up on Wikipedia, right? But I remember when I was very young. I'm going to say 12 when it was first shown, right? The ITV series, "The World at War," which I think we all of us watched in the family, kind of thing, with various degrees of interest, I'm sure. But I never. I think my life changed when they had the genocide episode on, I mean, I knew something about it, but I mean, that really, really kind of, I think, changed me really. And I suppose it started a fear, fascination, um, uh, inability to kind of not look away from, that level of complete horror, cruelty, craziness, that there was the Holocaust. And it strikes me that, we say never again, but I mean, how many times has it happened since the war, right? Isn't it 75th anniversary liberation of Auschwitz coming up, I believe, end of the month? And what have we had since? I mean, we had My Lai, but we also had Kampuchea, we also had Rwanda. We've had all kind of terrible, terrible things happen in that time, haven't we? And we've had these guys. So, I mean, it's a very banal, obvious thing to say, right? In a way, isn't it? There is something in us. There is something at some point, of honesty with ourselves. We have to say that some people, I guess mainly men, but not always men like to kill people. They like to kill en masse. They like to kill lots of people at a time. They like to torture people. They like to do terrible, terrible things. They like to wipe out the outgroup. And that just seems to be something that we keep on doing, doesn't it? So you can't. What's interesting about this version of that history, that story, because obviously, the Caliphate is insanely cruel, destructive, Death Wish. What's really interesting about this book, and let me sing out the writer's name, James Verini. Fantastic book, really, really, really well done, and it's got that great kind of dispatches-like mix of personal anecdote. I was there on that day. This is what it felt like, but also he's done a really good job of the layering in. He's obviously this is what he set out to do. The ancient history and the complexity. In many ways, Ashurbanipal, the Assyrian emperor who lived, what was it, 3,000 years ago, right? Give or take, is still kind of present, really. And that's one of the points he makes, that Mesopotamia was where, at least one version of civilization started that we can see connectivity with, and also insane cruelty, insane retribution. I keep using this word insane. I know I'm overusing it, but I think with good cause. Cruelty, repression, conquest, murder, all these kind of things. So, okay, empire's bad, but then you also think, I mean, one does think, looking at what happened when the Austro-Hungarian Empire fell, but especially the Ottoman Empire fell, were they not really better off under that, really, given everything that's happened since? So I guess all those kind of, thoughts are in my head. And I think he does a really excellent job of that these places, these cities. He talks about the complexity of history, the complexity of ancient history, and the lineage that's given us. But also now I did not know. Do I really still now know the difference between Sunni and Shia? Probably not really. Probably didn't even really hear those terms until Iraq too. But he talks about that, and that's in here as well. And he talks about the ideology of Islamism and extreme Islamism. And I think one of the points he makes very well is we might have conquered IS for now, but that will never go away. It'll go underground. It'll come back again. He talks about Saddam. He talks about the American invasion. He talks about the American invasion's legacy. There's a fantastic scene early on, which is where he goes into the kind of nerve center, the operational nerve center of the campaign to destroy ISIS, and there's all this amazing technology, and to quote John Milius, not white men but men calling fire from the sky. They do it all by WhatsApp, right? And mapping apps and drones, and you can't help but think of 0.30. You can't help think of that movie I mentioned, Mosul. You can't help thinking about I can't remember the name of the Catherine Bigelow, the other Catherine Bigelow film right now about the bomb disposal people. Okay, the Hurt Locker, and all these kind of things. And these do some of what they do, but I mean, Jesus Christ, really, it's just. Wow, what are we like? And just ordinary people just trying to get on, families trying to just get on, survive, get through. And you just think, what, could one? So I've got to say, in terms of 5-star rating, 5. Very, very well written. I like this kind of reportage book. I like war reporting. I think this particular one is really, really good. I wouldn't reread it. I think there's only so much you'd want to know about these things, and I think I will pass it on. But I think it's an excellent book. Okay, so this takes us to what will I read next? Now, I was going to choose a more, I guess, mainstream fiction book, because I think I need some fiction now for a while. But I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. But I have been drawn to the new thing on Netflix, Peter Berg's American. That's another great movie. Peter Berg movie right, which is The Kingdom. Another kind of thing in this vein. American Primeval, anyway. I don't think it's brilliant. I love Taylor Kitsch. I'd watch pretty much anything he's in. No one else is particularly outstanding, but fine. They're all big men with beards, or Native Americans with war paint or kind of frightened looking thin American women, right? It's okay. But I mean, it's. I don't think arrows were that effective. I don't think arrows were that flew that fast, were that penetrated and killed that easily. But anyway, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's the effect he's trying. It's that kind of Band of Brothers, the whistling bullets type thing and the impact bullets type thing, and it's fine. That's great, And I'll watch. I'll complete it. I don't think it's great, but it did sort of slightly. There's a slight continuity here where I do want to finally read Cormac McCarthy Blood Meridian, and I know it's both the horror again, but and also the American savagery, I don't mean savagery in terms of American Indians. I mean American savagery. So I thought I'd give that. I'd really, really try and give this. I did start it. I'm really going to finish it. I want to do it quite quickly, and then I genuinely will do a, regular mainstream, hopefully not too cruel, not too bloody type book. Okay, so I say that, and the fog is slightly starting to lift actually, and it's beginning to be a little bit of a day. Hopefully, I'm going to do a little bit of an expedition now. I'm going to put my Apple Watch on and get my fat ass down to the village. I'm going to buy a kettle and I'm going to buy some groceries, and that'll give me some steps. And I do think the journey down is fine. The journey back up the hill is a little challenging, but maybe that's good for me. Maybe that's a good thing for me to do with my weekend. So, guys, thank you very much for your time and kind attention. I am very struck by the fact that of all the videos I've done, my one about Hitler's First War is completely blown up, which I find is a little strange, but okay. So thank you very much. See you soon. Like and subscribe. Get on with your TBRP and your weight loss and your fitness and all the other things that make a positive difference. Okay, so cheers then. Bye-bye.